tonight to do justice to the theme, and I'd like to quickly mention that John Uzoma, PhD, has a book exploring the beauty of marriage, 77 Guides, and that's written by him and his beautiful, lovely wife, Nene Uzoma. You need to hear about that in the course of this program. But we'll take a short breather, and my guests will come after the break. Please stay with us on the Good Line, Memories 96.5 FM, Uyo. An issue that people just are worried about, and so please join me to welcome my guest, Reverend Ephraim Darby, Methodist Church, the man in charge of the presence here.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, my lost and found brother, somebody I really love so much, and I know many of you who have been on the radio remember his voice very well on the radio. But please join me to welcome Venerable John Uzoma, PhD, Archdeacon of the Cathedral Church of Anglican.
Thank you so much. My pleasure and joy to be at 96.5 FM.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So the song is "Don't Worry, Be Happy," but many people are not happy over issues to do with bride price or dowry. So let me begin with you, sir, Venerable John Uzoma. What's bride price and what's dowry?
Actually, sometimes we mistake the two things.
Okay.
And everything about traditional marriage is etched in a culture.
Okay.
However, there are some cultures where the man pays properties or money,
but not in Nigeria here.
to the family of the woman. And that's when you talk about bride price.
Okay.
But when the woman's family or that bride's family pays money or property to the groom's family.
Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Is not
that
in
is
Nigeria.
dowry.
That's
incidentally, we mix the two. You hear people talk about dowry when actually they mean bride price. Yeah.
Okay. So, Reverend David, how important is this issue to do with either bride price or dowry in our system? What's the importance? What's the place? Is it in the Bible?
Yes, it is in the Bible.
Okay.
The days of yours, you understand that in those days, even when Jacob was married, you remember that they tricked him to give him an elderly sister instead of the younger one that he paid for.
Okay.
It is very important because marriage, as reporter has said, is a cultural thing. You have your girl child and somebody will want to come and ask her in marriage, ask her hand in marriage and just take her to. So there must be some exchange of things.
Okay.
Either way, in some cultures it is the woman that pays for the man. In some cultures it is the man that pays for the woman.
Okay.
So that's very important so that you can place legality on that relationship.
Let me then go to Venerable John Uzoma. You are of the Igbo ethnic, and you came to Akwa Ibom, and then you got married to this. I feel like giving you another list. So a very beautiful daughter, a beautiful sister. So did you have any shock, like a cultural shock when you came and asked for the lists and all that? How was it?
I'm married to a group of Ikode Bene.
Okay.
And when I was married, they made me pay like for 10 women.
Yes.
And they ended up giving me one woman. And because it was for the 10 families.
Okay, 10 families.
Yes. And maybe in course of the program we talk about it. This issue of bride price being exorbitant has to do with the level of understanding and upbringing
of the wife's family?
Of both families.
Okay.
And for me, it wasn't a cultural shock in any way. The Anan tradition is a lovely tradition you need to behold.
Okay.
And what I loved so much was the Odia Ubeng. Yes. I remember once I reminded my wife, see, those things they showed, you've not been doing all of them.
Okay.
So she looked at me and asked me, am I the one that presented them to you? So it's a beautiful culture. We enjoyed it. It was so exciting. And this was way back 1994.
Okay. You are 30 years in marriage.
Yes, I am. We are 30 years in marriage. April 30, 1994. And so it's something we enjoyed. Many people came from the east because it was the son marrying the Obong's daughter. So it was something. I think they call it many people hearing my voice and of our age, we remember, especially those who lived in Ekolebene when there was a tree in the middle of the river.
I remember that.
Then you will remember me. You remember Ekolebene, and we had a lovely marriage. And like I said, it had to do with understanding. If both parents understand the beauty of marriage, this issue of bride price doesn't arise. I usually tell people who come to me that it is in the position of the girl's family to demand heaven and earth.
Why?
It is the fun of the thing.
When this fun is too expensive.
No. It is also now left for you to give what you can and what you can negotiate. Prove me wrong. Have you heard of any marriage that was stopped because the man could not pay the bride price? It's hardly. That's why it's fun. They ask you to bring 20 tubers of yam. You carry 2 tubers of yam, and you people are laughing at you and all of that. You give. This is what you have. Usually they take it. And the beauty of it again is that it's not even the bride price that's expensive. Every good family knows that in traditional marriage, immediately you return the bride price, the marriage is over.
Yeah.
And so because of that, the bride price is one of the cheapest.
Among all the items.
Among all the items. When I married, the bride price for the women was 500 naira, and that for the men was 1,000 naira.
Okay.
But we spend things, in millions, on other things.
The food, the drinks.
Like the Reverend said,
Okay.
if you read Genesis chapter 24, when they were trying to get a wife for Isaac,
Okay.
he gave the girl 114 ounces of gold for earring, the nose ring, and then the bangles.
Okay.
I called my son who deals on gold and I asked, how much is an ounce of gold now? He said if it's 24 carats, it's going to be about 150,000 naira an ounce. And that was just what was presented. When you go down to about verse 52 thereabout of that Genesis 24, you will find out that they gave clothes, they gave ornaments, they gave jewelries to the families.
Okay.
And by the way, the man, Eliezer of Damascus, Abraham's servant, came with 10 camel loads of goods. Just imagine 10 trailer, lorry loads of goods because of marriage. That was how it was in the Jewish culture.
Man of God, if I let you go further, James might be scared. Because I know he's not married. James, I know that's listening to us, might be scared.
No.
But let me ask the Reverend, he had experience too, he's married. And of course, he's joined some people in marriage. Sir, this issue of bride price, there's been a lot of heartache to men and women. So, what's your experience like?
Yeah, in fact, I'm surprised that the brother is watering it down to such a thing that is understanding they take what you have and all of that.
Okay.
Some families are very rigid.
Very rigid.
Yes, some culture, I don't know whether it be poverty or whatever. They said if you don't give this, no way. And considering the time, especially the times that we're in, you notice that what I usually ask in church, I'll ask the young man, I'll ask the parents of the girl, has this guy satisfied all your demands? And in most cases they say, yes, he has. So that is excitement. It's that most of us here are beginning to complain.
Okay.
A lot of people are beginning to complain that bride prices are getting too exorbitant, and before a young man will save money enough to go to get married, sometimes age has caught up with him.
Okay.
And a whole lot of things, because time is of essence. The time the girl should be parent, the young ones will settle down and begin to procreate.
Okay.
They are waiting to save money.
To meet up.
Yes, because of the hard demands of the family in question.
Okay.
It's not all families though. There are some families that are very rigid, and they'll tell you must do this. Just like burial in my place now. It's something you can't begin to wonder who brought this kind of culture in place.
All right, and if you just joined us, the program is The Good Life on MEMORIES965 FM here in the city of Uyo. And tonight on the program, we are taking a look at issues to do with bride price in Nigeria, importance, challenges, and the way forward. And of course, I know a lot of young men and women want to be a part of this. So I just called the phone lines, and you just take down the phone lines, and we take a short break. And when we return, we'll give you opportunity to be a part of the program, because definitely this will go beyond as an outing. It will be a series. And so the numbers are 0809 066 6909. That number is 0809 066 6909 or 0809 077 7909. That number is 0809 077 7909. Bride price in Nigeria, importance, challenges, and the way forward. You want to share your personal experience, or you want to make a comment or some advice, we'll give you the microphone after this time out on The Good Life on MEMORIES965 FM. Please stay with us. relationships that you find the words and the music of Bob Marley here tonight on The Good Life on Memories965 FM with your brother and friend. My name is Joshua Kwabio, and of course the essence of this outing tonight and subsequently is that we'll be able to talk about issues to do with bride price in Nigeria, importance, challenges, and the way forward. And I told you before we went on that music break that you can be a part of the program on 0809 066 6909 or 0809 077 7909. And Venerable John Uzoma, PhD, is here with us, and we also have Reverend Ephraim Dabi. He's been a regular on the program. And let me remind you that Venerable John Uzoma has a book. After 30 years in the industry or in the institution, he has a book exploring the beauty of marriage, 77 guides. And I think everyone who wants to come into this institution of marriage needs to have this book, and those who are already in it, there are so much you can gain from the book. And so you can call in and we'll pick your calls, be a part of the program. We also hand over the microphone to you, even while I go on to Dr. John Uzoma, the man of God. When the Reverend was responding, he said it was like watering down. But I know what he was trying to say, because people are going through a lot in the land, in Akwa Ibom and maybe beyond. Because I'm talking about Akwa Ibom, I'm from Akwa Ibom, married in Akwa Ibom. You know, what are you going to tell parents? Because sometimes it's like they are selling their daughters. And so many daughters, you know, they are up to 30, 35, because of issues to do with how we pay all these things. She's still in the family. What word as a father? I know you have two boys, two girls. So what word as a father do you have for other fathers, and especially uncles and aunties, when the father of the girl is no more alive? What word do you have?
All right. What is marriage in the first place?
Okay.
Let us understand that it's important that we do not erode the fabrics of marriage. Marriage usually is built on love. In the Bible days, usually there was that arranged marriage. But you notice when a grown-up man sees a girl and they fall in love and they want to get married, then the process starts. And the process usually starts with going to make your intentions known. And when that intention is made known, they now give you a list. And let me say here that I am not in any way watering down, because if I show you my own list of introduction, it was more than many people's traditional marriage. Now,
you're marrying a daughter of a big man.
Yes. So, but it behoves on the parents of the girl in this case to understand that there is a future.
There is a future.
And the consequences also of not making it possible for these two people to get together. In fact, our duty as parents is to facilitate. Make sure that your daughter is going into a good home. And by the way, like I said to you in our discussion earlier, both in Igbo tradition and in your tradition, you don't end marriage.
You don't end marriage.
You can. But what I mean by don't end, this issue of the in-laws' involvement in the family is until you die. Because anything that happens in the family, they give you a list. They carry you along.
You're part of the family.
You're part of the family. And also, you know, there is some important thing you can do so that you own the process of the marriage in case there's a child involved. Good. It's always good that for the man, he is allowed to do things segmentally. If he cannot carry the whole thing, you can do the basic thing that gives you ownership and right over the woman and the child. And then you can also now allot it, plan it, You can do the thing for the men, do the thing for the women, do the thing for the kindreds and all of that, as the case may be. But the major thing is getting the consent of your parents. Do you understand? And if you get the consent of your parents and they really like or love you, they will make it easy for you. There are cases where a man comes out to say, I have collected everything. And meanwhile, he just had an understanding with his prospective son-in-law.
I agree with you.
Do you understand? Yes. And so it's not about watering it that, it's about encouraging people to do what is right.
All right, let's hear from Reverend Duffy.
Yes, and what the Venerable said is actually true situation. But you see, there are some families that the child does not belong to a man, belongs to the family.
To the family. When it's time for marriage,
yes,
not during school fees.
No. When it's time you know, I've been to places with a lot of people, and they will tell you this is about the direct parents of the girl won't even have a voice. Okay. They won't have a say. They will say this daughter is a community daughter, so it is an extended family that will negotiate. And you know those ones, sometimes they are not even happy. Because maybe
your child is getting married.
You know that, so they make it almost like impossible for you.
Okay.
And they would want you to sweat. If you really want to get married, then you should do it. It's about when you get to some civilized situations, civilized, learned, rich people, they may even want to transfer their wealth to your home. What the girl has been enjoying at home should also be like in your house.
Okay.
You know, I have seen situations where the men are unemployed, and the parents of the girl would assist you to have a job so that their daughter won't suffer. So it differs from home to home, from place to place, from culture to culture. You know, so that's why we don't just have to have a country, because there are some persons that are hungry and are poor, and they look for this girl. This is a girl that is going to make a girl have the parents will have a car, or have this, or have a house. Sometimes they go and build the parents a house before you start talking, because the parents never had that. So they now look at this girl child to be like everything for them. You know, so but I want people to understand that marriage is a continuum. I want to just say something. Even when there is a divorce, I've seen situations where there has been a divorce, separation, they still look at you as an in-law. I've seen situations where the one of the spouses is dead, you are still an in-law. When there are issues, they will call you to bring. So in-law relationship does not end here. It's forever.
All right, so I want to ask, what's your experience as a listener on the program tonight on 0809 066 6909 or 0809 077 7909. Bride price in Nigeria, importance, challenges, and the way forward. So let's have your opinion. Let's share from your experience, because this is just the part one of this program. We'd like to continue the next edition of the program. So 0809 066 6909 or 0809 077 7909. Just a little breather, just a minute or thereabout, and we'll return for the last segment of the program tonight. Jeremiah from Ibesipo, thank you. So what's your... okay. It's like we lost Jeremiah. You can try again, and the lines are still open. 0809 066 6909 or 0809 077 7909. That is 0809 066 6909 or 0809-077-7909. So let me ask this question. It's very, I don't know, but it just came into my mind. What role does the girl have to play when it comes to bride price?
Yeah.
The woman to be married, does she have any role to play when it comes to bride
In marriage,
price?
generally, the woman has some very good role to play.
Okay.
In saner societies, there is something called hope chest.
Hope chest. Meaning?
Where the woman begins to tidy up, put together some things she will carry to start a family.
Okay.
Savings and all of that. What we have seen here is that the woman sometimes talks to the mother,
Okay.
who now talks to the father. You see, this man, I know him. He has honest intentions. I want to marry him.
Okay.
And even if the monies are not there, please make it possible.
Okay.
Let us start. It's advocacy, basically.
Okay.
But the side of this whole discussion that bothers me is the consequences
Of.
of this high bride price,
Okay.
and the difficulties that parents set for their children.
Okay.
That is what has led to many people raising children out of wedlock.
Yeah.
And you'll find also very serious consequences if anything should happen. Like if you're in that kind of relationship and the girl dies,
That's usually very terrible.
the man will regret ever being born. I have a cousin who lost the wife like that. They so punished the boy that after the burial of the girl, they still said that that was not their daughter they buried. They zoomed and started again. Now, this is to encourage young men. Don't kidnap any girl and start raising children with that girl when you have not paid the bride price. Even if they ask you to pay 100 million and you have 1,000 naira, drop it and say, this is what I have. In the course of time, I will pay. And you continue to do that. Show yourself as a good son-in-law or brother-in-law. Because I refuse to settle on deviations. What we see happening are aberrations, that they are deviations, and they are not the correct thing. Traditional marriage is something that is set up to encourage the bonding of families. Of course, the Igbo say, that is, it's not only one person that wants a child. It's the community child. Remember, I talked about kindreds, settled kindreds. And what do these kindreds usually want in many cases? Salt, crayfish, football, cigarettes, drinks. Do you understand? And that is part of the fun. You shouldn't be thinking about putting a woman in your house when you can't afford these preliminary things. You shouldn't.
I agree with you.
So, because marriage is for men, it's not for boys. You must have a genuine, source of income, and you must have some prospects before you think about marrying. And you see, usually as a pastor, by His grace, I've wedded over 165 people since my ordination in the Anglican Communion in 2001.
Okay.
And one of the questions I asked in this, in the process of counseling and all, what has or have brought you people together? Are there some things you hold dear? Usually it shouldn't be the problem of money stopping people from getting married. It shouldn't be. And I usually have this feeling, sir, that any man that says, I couldn't marry because I have no money, is not a serious person.
How do you mean? Because money is a very serious factor, sir.
It's not all about money.
Okay.
I also believe in having a vision that brings provision. Many times, and I believe my listeners will identify with what I'm saying, there is no problem that is as big as it looks. Immediately you step your leg on the Jordan, it parts.
That's true.
It may look so big,
so
scary, but immediately I usually ask them, set a date. you know it that immediately you take the bull by the horn, everything just bows down. It's fear that the enemy brings to people. Even if you remember when I went to, I got married, I had only 30,000 naira, home and abroad. Anyway, 30,000 in 1994 was a lot of money, but it was nothing compared to what was ahead of me.
Okay.
But I forged ahead. But immediately you do that, friends came, relations came, you know, things begin to fall into place. And we were able to wrap it up.
All right, Reverend Dabi, what should we do about this list? Because, like in my family, I'm from Ekbumo Akauko in Ibiaku Ward 3 in Mbadini. And we have a list in the family, just the list. Nobody tampers with it. When my daughter wanted to get married, they gave me. Another person wanted to, they gave the same list. You know, so it's usually there, and it's fair enough. So what should families do about issues to do with what they have written down? Because somebody told me, or somebody was answering me, he said, but we say it is traditional. That's how they do it in the family. Is that how they did it in 1940? You know, so what should we do, sir? We are just going to make a first outing today because it's just wide.
Yeah, you see, life is dynamic. What they used to do in those days, we cannot keep doing them and call it tradition.
Okay.
We should look at the reality of the time, what is tenable now. A lot of our tradition in marriages and burial are very obnoxious. We are living in the past. People that put those traditions in place, and people should also rearrange that tradition.
Okay.
In our time, this is what we want. I like it when the brother was talking about the parents saying this is what we want concerning our daughters.
Okay.
So tradition, family should come together and say, okay, this list was for the past. Okay. Now this is the present. And we want it this way, to embrace the present realities of life.
Sorry, I'm cutting you there. Like when my parents died in 2004, a crate of mineral was about 700 naira.
Okay.
650, 700 naira.
Okay.
So anybody that has a burial now is talking about 4,000 naira for a crate of bottled mineral. And if you know, I went to ask for how much is a crate of a crate of malt. You know, 10,500.
That's
I
what
stood
it
there
is.
and I was shouting.
Cool.
So if you have to buy 10, you understand.
You know, I put it to them. You know, my mother. I said, okay, you people used to collect 7 goats for your Nadia. Now that time goat was like 2 naira, and now goat is 35, 40.
Apart from being 2 naira, many people had it at the back of their.
So let's whatever we do reflect the daily, the current realities of life, so that we don't make things impossible for our children.
All right.
The essence that they should get married, get settled down.
All right. So, man of God, some people listening to us now as we round up. Some people listening to us now are scared because of issues to do with bride price. So in about some 30 seconds, what advice do you give to them?
Absolutely no need to be scared.
Okay.
If God has given you grace to come of age, He also knows that at this age you're going to get married.
Okay.
He makes the provision. And it's important that you do not also cut your clothes according to your size. You cut it according to
your
the
cloth.
yes. And it's important to note that marriage is a continuum, like you said, and there is a tomorrow involved. So it's not all about the wedding or the traditional marriage. There's a life to live. So parents should encourage their children and support them to get married.
Okay.
And of course, innovative ways are even coming up where they do a collabo, join the traditional marriage church and all of that.
That's what I did earlier this
Yeah, things are happening that is making it easy. Families should make it easy for
all right,
them.
man of God, your parting words.
Let us be very understanding.
Yeah. That fast, that brief, very understanding. And I want to thank you for finding time to come. This is just a part 1 of the program. We will take on in the next edition of the program very seriously. We started rather late today for some good reasons. And so I want to thank you, Reverend Ephraim Dabi, as you go about doing your work in the prisons. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And Venerable John Uzoma, I have to go and look at your name again because it's many years we were together. So thank you for finding time to come.
Absolutely, man.
And nice work at the cathedral.
Awesome, absolutely.
All right, and the listener, I'd like to let you know in the next edition of this program, praying that he finds time, we'll talk about exploring the beauty of marriage, 77 guides. And I know that subsequently we'll do some things together with Venerable John Uzoma. He's a family man to the core. So I want to thank you for being a part of the program. But you can always speak with me, talk with me, or directly one-on-one, or send a message. The number is 0808 097 3366. That number is 0808 097 3366, or you come to me write to me through my email address, akpabiojoshua655@gmail.com. akpabiojoshua655@gmail.com. I'd like to be your friend, so check me out on Facebook, Joshua Akpabio, and I'd like you to join us in the next edition of the program. A very special thank you to my guests, and a special thank you to my brother James here, who's pressing all the right buttons, giving us all the right music. Thank you for being a part of the program. I pray that the Lord will bless you. The Lord will increase you. The Lord will take you to the next level. So see you in the next edition, next week Sunday at 7 p.m. My name is Joshua Akpabio. Goodbye.